Hello, hope you're well. Welcome to what I hope will be a new weekly update video of what's going on in the world and how it affects your money and how it affects the markets. I hope you're all doing well, hope your families are all safe and getting used to the new rules that we've had announced last weekend. Some are slightly confused, but it's nice to know that we can get to go outside for a bit longer and venture a bit further afield. I hope the hair's not too bad. Mine's getting a bit out of control now. There's only so much hair products I can put into it, but I'm a bit nervous of allowing my wife at it with the scissors. So hopefully barbers can open soon. In terms of this week's update, well, let's look at the job situation in the US. So in the US, the numbers are completely staggering, really. So last month, around 20 million jobs were lost in the US alone. And to put this into perspective, this is the same amount of job losses that were lost in every downturn since the 1970s combined. So a massive figure. In the UK, we're up to about 9% unemployment and rising. The Chancellor has announced that the job retention scheme is to be extended until October. So this is the scheme where you may have been furloughed. So this new word that we're all now using, furloughed. So if you've been furloughed from work, that type of scheme is going to be extended to October, where the government will pay around 80% of your salary up to a certain figure. So we are expecting changes in August to the scheme, where employees are likely to be allowed back part-time while still furloughed, and companies are going to be asked to contribute to some of the cost of this. So it'll be interesting to see how that all goes. Like with all these sort of schemes, they're changing week by week because it's such an unknown thing that we're all going through. The government has to react very quickly, and sometimes it will announce information without giving us all the details. So obviously a scheme like the job retention scheme and other measures of support like the bounce back loans for companies, this is all going to cost huge sums of money, which the government is borrowing. An leaked report this week from the Treasury estimated that the worst case scenario for the level of borrowing puts it at 516 billion this year. Now that is 10 times what was expected in borrowing terms back in the March budget. It seems a long time ago, but we had a budget in March, and the level of borrowing that's estimated in that worst case scenario is 10 times that figure. It's also 3 times more than what was borrowed during the financial crisis back in 2008. So some of you may be worried that big tax increases are on the way to help pay for some of this borrowing. Well, that's not necessarily. If we can get through this pandemic with the one-off borrowing splurge that we're going to do, then I think what will happen is we'll just get used to having a bigger debt on our balance sheet, and we'll just end up paying it off over time. Similar to what happened after World War II, we had a huge debt pile that we just paid off gradually over time. Now, there will need to be some tax increases and some spending cuts, but that's mainly to appease the market. You see, it's not too bad at the moment to be borrowing this amount of money whilst interest rates are very, very low. It means the repayments on it are going to be very low. But if those interest rates creep up, then it's going to start to become a problem, because the repayments will be higher, and that will start to affect what the government can spend on other things, which will eventually affect the economy. So interest rates will only stay low if the market is confident in the UK and that the UK is on top of its debt. So the UK will need to be seen to doing some form of tax cuts and things, just to, not tax cuts, tax increases, sorry, to make sure they're getting on top of the debt. But other than that, I wouldn't worry about it too much at this stage. Now, with the successful easing of lockdown being so crucial to the economic recovery, it was slightly worrying this week to learn that the Chinese city of Wuhan, where this virus supposedly started, reported 6 new cases over the weekend. But you've got to admire the Chinese ambition, because what they're trying to do now is test all 11 million residents of Wuhan in just 10 days. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get that done and what the results are. Finally, some good news. The UK has now approved a new antibody test that's already been approved in the US, which they say now is 100% accurate in determining whether you've had the virus and whether you've built up some immunity to it. So that could be really helpful in getting people back to work and understanding a bit more about how much this virus has spread. So that's it for this week. I hope you found that useful. As I say, we do provide more detail on these types of subjects in a regular email newsletter to clients and subscribers. So if you'd like to subscribe to that and find out more information, go to our website, rtsfinancialplanning.co.uk, and you can subscribe there. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also just put some comments down below. Just give me your feedback and ask any questions that you've got. But until next time, stay safe, take care, speak soon.